pound great fighter, now the WBA, IBF and Ring Magazine welterweight world champion, and to do that against a great champion like Stanionis was exactly the kind of performance we knew would come. But to do it on that platform in that moment shows how special Jaron Ennis is. So congratulations, Jaron, and we open to the floor for questions. Yes.
Kevin Garcia with Fight. Boots, I mean, my first question for you is, you know, coming off your last fight, you know, there was talk, there was chatter, you know, these Boots have opportunities. You obviously silenced all those doubters today. How do you feel, you know, thinking about that talk and what you just did today?
That's what y'all was waiting for. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, y'all seen it firsthand.
Your first boxing. And it's congratulations on an amazing win. Like Dan said, the last 2 fights, you put your heart out there, you did everything you can. But this fight, we've seen you, a whole different man. A lot of body shots. Like we spoke of the last fight, there was not too many body shots. A lot of hooks, uppercuts. You took them out in a beautiful way. What's next for you? What you want? Who's on your radar?
Right now, like I said, I'm gonna enjoy my win. You know, enjoy my win, chill with the fam. You know, enjoy this IBF, the WBA, and Ring Magazine. And sit back and talk to the team. We'll see.
You showed off a lot of talent with your defense tonight, but it also seemed like you had like a lot of fun tonight. That was something that you really wanted to do. You show out your fun side along with the defense and along with the offense.
For sure, you know, that's like I said before. I don't want to sound repetitive, but when I fight top of the line guys, good guys, you know, that's what you're gonna see. You're gonna see a whole different me. You know, when I'm in the ring, I'm in my heavy place. So, you know, when I got a top guy and I'm fighting for something, it's a whole different story. You know, can't nobody mess with me.
Boots, how's it feel to win the title here in Atlantic City, especially the crowd support you got here from the Philadelphia fans?
I feel great. You know, iconic place. You know. Yeah, it's a blessing to be able to, you know, fight here at Borough Hall.
And Eddie, what
staring at you when you come back to the corner, when you both were going back to the corner? Based on that, were you surprised that the fight was stopped at that point?
No, I was just repping my edge. I was just picking it up, and I knew he was going to go. You know, the way from like the second round, from certain things he was doing, I'm like, I've been really wanted to pick it up. My papa was like. My dad, and my team, like, not yet. You know, just take your time, chill, have fun, and stick to the game plan, let it come.
Boots, can you talk to us about the trajectory over the last few fights? You've gone from Roman Villa at the smaller room here, 2 back-to-back fights in Philly. The last fight was against the guy you'd already fought before. The previous one before that was a replacement opponent. You've now unified the titles here in Atlantic City. Talk to us about that experience and the experience over the course of the last 3 fights.
Great experience, you know. I made history fighting in Philadelphia at the Wells Fargo Center. I think it was like 15,000. The first to do that. Came back, did it again. You know, I think I did like 10 or 11 or something like that. And then we fight here at this iconic arena at the Boardwalk. You know, everything falling in line. It's perfect timing.
And what would you like to do next?
Like I said, I'm gonna sit back and talk to the team. You know, I'm gonna enjoy this win, enjoy this victory, and we'll see.
Eddie Hearn, what would you like for your chance next?
I think Jaron's already showed us as a team that he's about legacy and he's about fighting and beating the champions. I think the greatest achievement for any fighter is to become undisputed. You know, I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of how Boots felt at the weight, but certainly at the weigh-in he looked extremely comfortable. And you know, that was always part of the chat was after the Chidasian fight. Is it time to move up? And you know, I would have felt really like we hadn't done our job if he moved up without unifying the division. You know, and I think enough people don't really talk about the fact that people say, you know, he's never beaten a champion before. He was the interim IBF world champion, and Errol Spence vacated the belt rather than fight Jaron Ennis. So that's why they elevated him to IBF champion. And you know, I said to him in the change room tonight, damn. He said, why? I said, because after the Chidasian fight, people actually wanted to fight you. Now we're going to go back to no one wanting to fight you. And I hope that the other champions have ambition.
fights.
Eddie, follow.
Just say, how much more expensive do you expect it to get those guys in the ring?
Well, it's expensive because his money goes up. You know, that's the reality.
Yeah, y'all don't know. I took a pay cut for this fight too.
Boots
I took less money for this fight.
gave Stanionis money to get him in the ring. You know, we hear at the press conference, you know, Stanionis has wanted Boots for years. Well, who's ever heard that?
Right.
We never had a phone call.
This fight happened because of me. I took less money. I gave Stanionis more money to fight me.
And that's not,
That shows who really wanted to fight.
and that's not what we do or what we want to do. But sometimes as a team, you move forward collectively, and that's why these guys are great to work with. They're chasing greatness. But now, after a performance like that, no, we don't take less money, we take more money. So the other guys have got to, they'll get paid, but they have to show some ambition. It's just money, 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 money. What about trying to be number one in the division? Guys like Brian Norman, these guys, with all due respect to Brian Norman, just boxed for about $150,000 on an undercard of Michaela Meyer against Andy Ryan at the Fontainebleau in Las Vegas. We can, if we go back to the Wells Fargo now, to unify again, he will fill the whole place. 18, 19,000, unquestionable. So there's money in the pot, but you've got to show ambition as well.
Eddie, so given what you just said and the experience of setting up this fight here, who is going to be the tougher fight to make out of Mario Barrios and Brian Norman Jr. in your opinion?
Listen, I heard that Barrios is talking about fighting Manny Pacquiao. What's all that about? Right? Brian Norman, for me, I spoke to Bob Arum during the week. He made it clear to me they want to try and make that fight. There is there's probably close to 10 times the biggest payday of Brian Norman's career to fight Bozy Ennis. If you don't want to get in the ring, you might as well retire from the sport, because what's it all about? That kind of payday to fight the very best in the sport, prove yourself as a pound-for-pound great. So stop with Twitter, stop with Instagram, grow a set of balls and come and be in one of the biggest fights in the sport. Wells Fargo, back end of the summer or September or wherever it's going to be when he's ready. Let's make it happen.
So they were talking about Atlanta as a potential spot for that fight.
Right. He just boxed on an undercard in front of about 1,200 people. This guy, you know what he said, 15,000, 12,000, 9,000 tonight, whatever it was. Come on. And that's what I said to those guys last time. Oh, we're not going to Philadelphia. Where do you think the money comes from? You know? So this is not about being disrespectful. Brian Norman's a great fighter. Don't we want to make great fights for the sport? You know, and like this guy's, he ain't losing at 47, he ain't losing at 54, he ain't losing at 60. Watch what he does over the next few years. He's going through all the divisions.
And you got nutritionist for this fight, Bruce. Something different for you, and a lot of people were talking about your weight and how was it going to affect you tonight. First of all, what do you have to say to those people who were saying you weren't going to be able to make the weight, you would have trouble with them? What do you got to say about your power after the stoppage tonight?
Yo, I don't know. People, y'all social media people crazy. I seen some people talking about look weight drain. I was, he gonna make weight, this, that, and the third. I was at weight on Tuesday. I didn't work out since Tuesday. I ate the day before the weigh-in. I make 147 easy. You know, y'all don't know what y'all be talking about. Y'all just be talking on the net. And
what about your
y'all
power?
chill.
At this weight that they were complaining about.
You seen it, and I really was like just getting in my bag, getting in my groove for real. Like I said before, none of these fighters can mess with me. I'm the best in the world.
I just want to say as well, I don't know if it's the right time to say about you moving down to 140.
Huh?
Remember the way? Hold on, wait till you call it out, guys, please. Yeah.
Especially considering the quality of the opposition out there. You feel this was one
Probably. I gotta watch it. I mean, even though I was in there, I can't say yet. You know, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go in the hotel room. Well, I'm gonna go party first, then go watch it, and then we'll see. I'll let y'all know. To give my assessment.
Derek, can you just talk about the decision Samodio made to pull Stanionis out? Because I think a lot of trainers would have sent him back out for another round. It was probably the right decision.
Pulling out, the trainer pulling out Stanionis.
Like stopping.
I think that was the right decision to make instead of taking a punishment like that. He was taking a bad beating, man. You know what I mean? You see his face was all busted up and everything. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was him. Was it him that quit or the corner stop? The trainer stopped, but they did the right thing. You know what I mean?
Right thing.
Who's just gonna knock him out?
Mike Lopez, WOND Atlantic City. Stanionis is known for his determination, style, strong stance. You took it from him. You know, you can talk about that as it went into the fight.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we knew what he was coming to do. He was coming to put pressure, jab, hook. That's about it. Try to throw punches in the inside, and I took all that away from him. You know, I just went in there and had fun, put on the show.
Hey, Eddie, Boots, how are you? Congratulations, Boots.
Appreciate it.
Sport Box TV official. So hypothetically, we all thought, in the past we thought that Brian fight was going to happen. Now let's say hypothetically it doesn't happen by September. What's next? Is it definitely going to be undisputed, or is there a chance that he might move up? And does this Jaron Ennis keep Terrence Crawford?
I beat anybody in the world. I'm the best fighter in the world. I keep saying it. You know, these fighters can't mess with me.
Eddie Hearn on bringing boxing back to the boardwalk called Atlantic City. I think the last one was what, about a good 10 years ago? What's next? When are you going to bring another fight here in Atlantic City?
I don't know. Look, you know, it really worked. I think the venue is iconic, but just also it worked with Jaron Ennis. You know, he's boxed here before. He did a good gate here before in the smaller hall, and luckily he's got a lot of passionate supporters. You heard, drove, you know, made the trip down from Philadelphia. That means a lot, and I just feel like it was a really good decision. Got to shout out Everett actually and the team, because we went back to back Philly quite quickly, and sometimes 3 times in what would be a year. So it's a lot to keep going back, and I feel like now when we go back, it's going to be twice as big, and I think it was a really smart move to come to the Boardwalk Hall. And I love the place, love the venue. Love it. Visit Atlantic City, the Boardwalk Hall, Gary, Jim, the whole team. They've been sensational. Yeah.
Hey, you still got the whole experience having this fight here in Atlantic City, and your thoughts about going back to Philly?
Yeah, I mean, it allows you to talk about the history and the heritage of this place. You know, and when you talk about the people that have fought here, you know, Holmes, Foreman, Tyson, Leonard, you know, Mayweather, Gatti. I'll put this guy at that level, honestly, and it's difficult at 27 to talk about those names, but I promise you, one day you'll be talking about Jaron Ennis in the same way you talk about all those people that have graced this great venue. So for us as a promotional company, it was amazing, and for Jaron, it's been the perfect stop in this incredible rise of fame that he's had in 12 months, and collectively we've all done a great job, and tonight he did the perfect job.
And when you come back to Philly,
we'll be back for Philly for his next fight.
hey, Eddie, how did you get Maxie to come out to the ring?
You said what?
How did you get Tyrese Maxie to come out?
I mean, me and Max is kind of cool, so you know, I go to season games and things like that, and cool guy. You know, I keep in contact with him, and in the summer we're gonna try and help him out and get ready for the next season. So yeah, so I asked him to walk me out.
Couple more guys, yeah.
Boots, Kevin Garcia with Fight Hype. So during the press conference, Stanionis was asked about this fight, and he said all gas, no brakes.
That's what we wanted.
Talk about it a little bit, Bozy, or Boots, all gas, no brakes, but they ended up stopping the fight. So what do you think about that? What came out?
I told you he was going to run right into a rock, big boulder, and that's what he did. All gas, no brake. What car you know that? What car you know that guy just goes go? And they go over the bridge if you're going to keep going like that. So, they're crazy,